It's a busy Friday afternoon, and you've just left work. You hear your phone ring, and you answer it. It's your significant other. They ask if you can stop at the local grocery store on your way home to pick up a few items for supper. Reluctantly, you agree, knowing the task that's set out for you isn't going to be pleasurable. Nobody likes grocery shopping for many reasons, but the main reason for most is other customers. Here's 10 things customers do that make other shopping experience worse.
Starting off with number 10. We've all had it happen. You're trying to rush through the store so you can get home, and you go down the final aisle to see there's another customer sitting in the middle of the aisle with their shopping cart blocking the whole aisle. As you approach, you're forced into an awkward interaction with a stranger. You can either sit and wait or ask the customer to let you through. American grocery stores are usually set up with enough room for 2 shopping carts to fit down the aisle. That means if you are self-aware and courteous, then you'll follow the unspoken rule of the road. You push your cart down the right side. If everybody were to follow this rule, then there would be a nice flow of cart traffic through the store. Treat your shopping cart like it's your car. You wouldn't leave your car parked in the middle of the road, would you? Which brings us on to our next point.
So for this one, we're going to have to bring up Walmart. Because even though it happens at most stores, Walmart seems to be the prime location for illegal parking. Almost all Walmarts are set up the same. You have a parking lot here, the store here, and a fire lane here. Far too many times we see the customers parking here in the fire lane, or patrons will improperly park in the disabled and online pickup spots. Not only is this selfish, but it is incredibly dangerous for everyone involved. In the case of an accidental fire, the customer illegally parked will be blocking emergency services from accessing the building. Most stores have their fire hydrant or water access in front of the building. If the fire truck can't get to the hydrant, then they won't be able to put out the fire. However, in the case of an emergency, that truck is going to push the vehicle out of the way or break the window so they can do their job. This will result in damage to the customer's car, and the fire department nor the store will be footing the bill. In addition, the customer will receive a hefty fine for illegally parking. In terms of the online pickup and disabled spots, those are for a specific reason, to make life easier for those who can't be as mobile as everyone else. Some grocery stores in small town America are fortunate enough to be able to offer a carry-out service to every single customer, which means an associate will bag all of your items, load them into the cart, and walk you out to your vehicle. Then they will bring your cart back inside for the next customer to use. This system works great for small volume. Other stores, like Aldi, have a cart rental system, where you insert a coin to unlock the cart, do your shopping, and when you bring the cart back to the building, your coin is returned to you. The pros are that the carts will always be returned to the store for the next customer to use, and the cons are that the customer will always have to do all the work, and thus your shopping experience will be less convenient. The majority of stores in the US use a self-service cart system. This system tends to be flawed. The customer grabs a cart when entering the building, they do their shopping, and take the cart to their vehicle. This is where the problem starts. These are called cart corrals. This is where you are supposed to put the cart when you are done with it. An employee or cart pusher, if you will, comes and collects them and brings them back to the building for the next customers to use. The issue is customers leave carts everywhere. They leave them on the curb, in parking spots, in the road, and even in the bushes. Now we have a safety issue for the cart pusher and all other customers' cars. The cart corral is designed to keep carts together, so they don't spread out and hit cars or pedestrians. They also keep the cart pusher safe by giving them a barrier between them and the traffic passing by. When you don't put your cart where it goes, you may be unintentionally putting someone's life in danger. Nobody should be in such a hurry that they can't have common courtesy. Have you ever seen the old Mythbusters episode where they measure the time and energy it takes to drive normal in one lane versus driving aggressively and switching lanes often? Pretty much they discovered it was more stressful and took more energy to switch lanes. And the amount of time that was saved wasn't worth it. Essentially, that same premise works when you're in line at the grocery store. If you think one line is moving faster and move over to it, then your spot in the first line will be taken, and there's a big chance that the customer who took your spot in the first line will be at the register first. Now you're angry with yourself and stuck in the store for longer than you want to be. In modern America, the majority of national chain grocery stores have self-checkout systems. These are incredibly convenient and allow customers to purchase their items without having to wait in line. They also allow stores to be able to serve multiple customers at once by a single employee. Unfortunately, some customers don't know how to use the self-checks and cause them to have an error that an employee has to fix. Usually this is no big deal. However, when a customer starts pressing buttons thinking they know what they're doing, it usually makes matters worse, taking more time for the employee to fix and holding up the line. We all want to be independent and do things for ourselves, but in this situation, it's best to just be patient or flag down an employee so they may do their job and assist you. If you're someone who has gotten a wardrobe item for your birthday that was the wrong size, then you'll be familiar with most return procedures. You take the item to the store and go either to the return area or the customer service desk, and an employee assists you with your return. Most of the time you'll need a receipt, but not always. Once the employee takes the item, they review it and decide if it's resellable. If so, they repackage everything and usually mark down the price due to the package being open. This means the store will no longer make a profit on that item and may even lose money on it. If the item isn't resellable, they will either have to donate it or dispose of it, meaning they lose all the money invested in that product. If stores lose too much money on a product, they will stop selling it, which means it will no longer be available for other customers. Alternatively, the store will be forced to raise prices on other items to combat the loss in profit. When a customer buys an item with the intent to use it once and return it, it puts a buffer on the store's financial ecosystem, and thus causes higher prices for all customers. Nowadays, most bigger retail chains keep records of customers' returns and will flag repeat offenders. These customers will no longer be allowed to return items.
Growing up, did you ever hear the saying, everything has a place and everything belongs in its place? It's the equation to have a clear, clean, tidy, and organized work or home. The equation also works in your local grocery store. When you come into a store, everything will be in the location that was decided by the store's owner or manager. Unfortunately, sometimes customers will decide halfway through shopping that they no longer want an item that's in their cart. The customer will take the item out of their cart and just leave it on the nearest surface, instead of taking the item back and putting it in its place. This behavior can be summed up in one word: rude. There are so many things wrong with doing this, from taking extra time out of an employee's day to clean up after you, to losing the store money on items if they are supposed to be refrigerated. If you no longer want an item, give it to an employee so they can take care of it immediately, or just take it back to its correct place. Nobody is too busy to do the right thing. A lot of retail stores have an apparel department. This is great because you can do your grocery shopping while picking up a new trendy shirt or a new pair of work pants. But have you ever walked into an apparel department and it's in shambles, resembling a child's bedroom? Clothes unfolded on the tables and shelves, clothes on the floor, packages of unmentionables open and scattered all over the place. Well, this is the unfortunate reality for most, and it's at no fault of the employees. Bigger retail stores such as Target or Walmart normally have an associate working round the clock, cleaning up after customers. They do what is called sizing and zoning, a process in which they refold the merchandise and clean up after browsing shoppers. Companies understand that this will always need to be done due to the nature of the merchandise. Customers may need to unfold items to see designs or check the fit. This is perfectly fine if done courteously. However, it seems that common courtesy in this sense no longer exists, and the constant mess made by just to be a more conscientious shopper, and treat the store as if it were your home. When you are done looking at an item, do your best to properly put it back. Even if you can't fold it up perfectly, make an effort, and it helps keep the shopping experience pleasant for others. As we've made clear so far, the average shopping experience can be obnoxious and sometimes overstimulating, from screaming children to the loud buzz of all the customers. This is why we believe it is unnecessary to go shopping and talk to someone on the phone while on speaker, or listen to your own music in the store. Almost every store in the US play music on their speakers, and this music is most likely going to be family friendly. Sometimes customers will come into the store listening to their own music. This is frustrating for other shoppers for a few reasons. One is that it's disrupting. People like to conversate or have the ability to listen to their own thoughts while they shop. Another big issue we've seen is shoppers having loud conversations or yelling at each other in the store. These are public places with children and families in them. If you're having a problem with someone or something, it should be handled in a private matter, not at the local Stop and Shop. What do you mean I have to show you my receipt? This is one example of what not to say to employees. The stores you frequent have rules and policies, just like anywhere else. These policies are put into place by the corporate office, and are expected to be followed by customers and employees. There is a reason for each and every rule, normally to protect the customers, employees, and the business. The best example for this would be the lost and found policy. The majority of stores share this policy, and it only differs slightly. For example, one store we found when researching this video had a lost and found policy that ensured the store keep possession of any found items for 14 days before donating or disposing of anything. That means if you were to lose your wallet in that particular store, you could go back nearly 2 weeks later and you would be assured that your wallet and all of its contents would be there. There are many policies, and some you may not agree with, but if you want to shop somewhere, it is expected for you to follow the rules and policies of the establishment. This is why it is entirely unacceptable for anyone to yell at, belittle, or disrespect any retail worker who is simply doing their job of maintaining and upholding company policies. Sometimes we forget that we are all humans and deserve respect and decency. Sometimes we forget that there is more than one perspective to every situation. We need to learn to help one another again. We need to try harder, America. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.